Okay, so I'm moving closer. Hello everybody, thank you so much for joining. So like I said, I'm Seema and I am a strength and conditioning coach. And I help women to fit strength training into their lives. I think strength training is incredibly important. I'm going to present to these guys as well. I think it's incredibly important because, especially as we get older, it has a really, really important role in our training. And I think for quite a long time, women, when you're in your 40s, I think you spend a lot of your time working, looking after children, socializing. You've got so many other priorities that you kind of just put your health and your strength on the back burner. But I think strength training is a really quick and effective way of building your strength and really taking charge of your health. And ideally, we would do it all the way through our womanhood. We would start it when we were teenagers and we'll continue it throughout our 20s and 30s and really prepare ourselves for later stages in life, because it's brilliant for our metabolic health. As you probably know, your estrogen levels are declining from your 30s, and this is like a really effective way. Applying strength training is a really effective way of maintaining your estrogen levels. It therefore impacts your heart. Like, women are much more prone to having heart attacks, and also our bone mineral density decreases as we grow older. So, you're right. So, coming in. Hello.
Hello.
Okay. So because our bone mineral density is declining, doing the strength training is a really easy way of maintaining all of those aspects, so that when we're in our 40s and our 50s, we've got that postural support, we've got really good bone mineral density, we're strong, we can lift stuff without swearing. We can lift stuff, you know, like we don't have to ask somebody, oh, could you lift that for me? We can do it ourselves, and I think that's really important to feel empowered to be able to do all those things by yourself. I love the fact that I can personally put one kid on this shoulder, another kid on the other shoulder, and, you know, just have fun without the fear of injuring myself. So that's why I think it's important. Yeah.
So what would you suggest then? How can women start if
Yes.
you have done nothing?
If you've done nothing. Good. I'm really glad you asked that question, because my first thing that I would say is that before you load it, you should know how to do it. Okay? So I see, unfortunately, when I go to the gym, I see a lot of women lifting weights. So I'm really, really happy that they're doing that, because it can be so effective, but their technique and their alignment is not so good, right? So in terms of their movement range, so actually going from standing to a full squat position. Women's bodies change so much throughout their lives. The way that we were moving when we were little girls is different to when we're teenagers, different to when we're 20s, 30s and 40s. The reason is because our structure changes, you know, so we have to relearn throughout our training how to use our bodies, because our hips are wider, because our knees start to valgus, they start to point inwards. So if you're not aware of that, you're going to be applying load, which is like, I don't know, a 20 kilogram kettlebell, and squatting, and your knees are going inwards, and you're not getting a good range, and one knee's going in, the other knee's not, you know. So I think you're going to set yourself up for injury. Yeah. And that's not to say, please don't lift weights. That's to say, learn the movement first, understand your body in that movement and your alignment, and then start to add load. Yeah?
So you would first take someone through the mobility of their movement, and then you load bit by bit by bit.
Bit by bit by bit, exactly. And then
I've got a questions.
Yeah, you got questions.
So you say, I find that really interesting that you say that the body shifts and changes as we grow. Are there specific things that change depending on the aging, on the age group?
Yeah, so
Do you see that across?
The first thing that changes is during puberty. Like,
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
up until around the age of 10, 12,
Yeah.
girls' shapes are very similar to boys.
Yeah.
You know, straight up and down. And then when they hit puberty, their hips get bigger.
Yeah.
So therefore, at that stage, girls need to be retrained of how to use their bodies because they're also growing breasts.
Yes.
So they don't want to jump high. They don't want to move because it's changed their movement efficiency. So it's relearning it.
Yeah.
The other thing that I would say is that it's the frequency in which you train. So if I was to get women to train in any way, if they were total beginners, it would be strength train 3 times a week. Focus on that. And the duration doesn't have to be long. Okay, so we're not talking 1 hour, 1.5 hour sessions. Once you're really into it, once you start making that time for yourself, it might look more possible, okay? But initially, a 20-minute strength workout can be so feasible and effective, okay? So it could be really short, but as long as you're hitting all of the muscle groups, okay? So you do legs, you do upper body, you know, and you're covering all of that, and you're also covering a lift, which is like a deadlift, a squat, you're doing a push, which is like a shoulder press, or the one that everyone loves, push-ups, or a pull. So pull-ups, which I still can't do, by the way. Can anyone do pull-ups?
Well, not currently, I've got an injury shoulder, but I managed to do one.
Exactly. One is great. Or you can do pulls with a dumbbell. Okay, so you're covering the different movement ranges.
But there are ways also to work out to pull up. You can reverse, you can do the scapular.
Very good, yeah, exactly. So I would always say, when you're starting off, don't think big. Don't think I need to do this every day, 1 hour a day, I need to get myself to a gym, this is not feasible, I can't do it. Scrap that.
There's always a way.
There's always a way. Yeah. Right, in terms of making this accessible, the whole theme of Women's Day this year is making it inclusive, right? So it's about inclusivity, and for this, exercise should be inclusive. It doesn't mean that you have to have a posh gym membership or that you need to attend classes, which is it's great sometimes for the community feel, I get that. But you can go onto eBay and purchase weights, dumbbells, take it to your bedroom if you don't have the space, and go through the key movement patterns, and you're covered. The next thing I want to say is that I always see women lifting with really, really light weights. So now I'm talking 5 kilograms and less, right? The whole point of Marion said me in the room.
Go out
Now, okay, and also they're doing 5 to 6 repetitions of each movement. So let's say they are lifting, I don't know, like this, above their head, 5 to 6 times with a really light weight. Lightweight means 5 kilograms or less. Okay. If you're working with a coach, you might be able to work out your 1 rep max. That, for everybody who doesn't know, means the weight that you can lift only once, right? All the way up, and that's it. That's all you can do. The weight that you should be lifting at is around 70% of that, right? Okay? And to be able to make a difference, you need to be able to lift that around 5-6 times, 6 reps, yeah? and that's it. Okay? It should be hard. It should be hard. Marion's got a question.
Got a quick question. So is it better to lift heavier and less reps than lighter and more reps?
Yes.
Is that more effective?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Okay.
It really is.
Right.
Because you need to add that load. You need to put the pressure on the bones and the connective tissue from your muscle to your bone to be able to, your muscle needs to tear and repair, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise it hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
Now, once you've become an avid weightlifter and you've started making that time for yourself, that's when you can start adding a bit of detail. Okay, so the way that I work with my clients is that if they're training 5 times a week and they started off not even being able to make 5 minutes for themselves, so that's pretty amazing. Not every week has to be strong, intensive, hard work, okay? The way that I like to advise people is to work with an undulating intensity, right? It's from strength and conditioning. That means it doesn't always have to be high intensity, heavy load. It can sometimes be light intensity, light weights and high reps, right? The way that I like to do this for women who are menstruating, who have a cycle, is I sync it to their cycle. So in your follicular phase, which is the first half of your cycle, that's when, especially in the first week, your hormones are at their lowest, okay? So actually you've got more energy availability. And that's the time to get in your heavy lifts, really heavy lifts, and to do your high intensity exercise. Now, high intensity, when I say that to a woman with menopause, or experiencing menopausal symptoms, it causes fear because they're already experiencing hot sweats and they do not want to sweat anymore. But let me just tell you, it doesn't have to be the full workout, it's just 6 minutes. Yeah, and it can be on and off. It doesn't have to be the full 6 minutes. So it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to take over everything. So the first 2 weeks is like that. Then the luteal phase, you get to change things up. Take the intensity down. Start to do more yoga, swimming, light dumbbell activities, higher reps, a long jog, rather than anything too powerful. And then the week before their period, in phase 4, which I call restore and nurture, is when you get to do just that. Yeah? Guided meditations, restorative yoga, book yourself into the sauna if you can. If not, it doesn't matter. Do you know what? Exercise is so available to everybody, and anyone can do meditation, it's free, it's within your own mind, your own body. You don't have to pay anything. And if you find it difficult to concentrate or just let go, you can listen to a guided meditation. Yeah. And that is what's changed my training. And being able to, I get up half an hour before everybody else in the house, and I ensure that I get that in for myself. So I know at the beginning it seems daunting, is what I'm trying to say. But as you start it, and as you start to feel the benefits of it, you start to explore other areas and other little pockets of time that you have where you can do it. And then you'll find that all of this work that you've put in has started to reward you. Yeah? Mm-hmm. You're feeling more energetic. You're feeling stronger. You're feeling, what else do you feel when you do strength training? You actually just feel more confident.
Yeah, I mean, if I can just quickly interject, when I started doing strength training, I think one of the things I liked the most about it was the actual feeling stronger. It's really underestimated how much difference that makes.
Yes.
It makes you feel more confident.
Makes you feel
and
more confident.
Good about yourself.
Exactly. And you burn calories at rest.
Yes.
You know, so after you've done that, when you sit on the sofa, you're still burning calories and it's incredible, you know. So yeah, you don't have to make space for every type of exercise all the time, but you can slowly build your toolbox, you know, and then eventually you're like, right, I know that today I'm capable of doing this. My symptoms are this, so therefore I'm going to do this. But always try and get into strength training. Fuel it. So have I covered everything? Frequency, intensity, yeah. Any other tips that I wanted to give you? Yeah, just fuel your body. I know so many people who don't fuel their body, and actually a lot of my students at university don't fuel their body. So they turn up to a strength and conditioning session under-fueled. It's like turning up to a race, a car race without a full tank of petrol. You know, like, I'm not saying turn up full, like fed, where you can't breathe anymore, but just ensuring that 2 to 3 hours before you've done your workout, you've eaten some carbs and some protein. You need something to burn. Your body needs you need to be able to burn this off. So fuel it and think about what you're eating. My advice, it might be different to what Marianne's about to offer, hopefully it will align, is that if you can't eat 2 to 3 hours before your workout, make it into a liquid form so that your muscles can use it quicker. Yeah? Do you agree?
I agree.
Yes. If it's prior to that, then try and get in a full, a proper meal. Yeah? So don't underfuel, and also after your workout, reward your body, because your muscles have worked hard for you, you know, and you've got yourself there, your muscles have worked hard for you. You need to put that love back into your body, and for me that comes through a protein shake, preferably through real food rather than a protein shake, but I do protein shakes. So yeah, it's fueling and then putting the love back in afterwards. I think that's really important for your training, because otherwise you don't see progress, and you want to see progress. You won't see your energy increase. You won't see your muscles develop. You won't see your body make changes. You just won't feel the difference. You need to fuel it correctly. And one last thing that I wanted to say, if you don't mind, before we move on to Marianne, is exercising when you're stressed. Yeah, because everyone is super stressed. I know this. Everyone is super stressed. You know, we come back, we're like, I know what I want to do. I want to go and do a high intensity workout. You know, fine. Do it, because that's what you like. I'm glad that you're moving. I always advise, come down before you go up again. The reason is because you want to bring your energy down. You want to be able to focus. You want to know that you're not going to enter this exercise session like a complete crazy, and then like just not be in control of what you're doing. And plus, you don't want to add cortisol. Your body doesn't know where this cortisol is coming from, what's causing it. So you've got your stress from your job, you've got your stress from your life, and then you go and do a stressful workout. Your body's just overloaded. So just bringing yourself down, connecting with yourself, do some breath work. I always suggest breath work. Connect with the pelvic floor, connect with your breathing, build up your mobility, and then your movement, and then do your workout. It makes such a difference because you do it with a connection, with focus, and it's so much more effective. So that's what. Any questions about that?
No, I think that's brilliant. I really love what you said to bring back the love in the body.
Yes.
Because that also ties in, since it's Women's Day, how much we deplete our bodies and how much it connects with the diet culture And we think that in order to get to a place where we feel good about our bodies, we need to take away. Whereas what you suggest is put in the love, put in the nourishment.
Yes.
Feed ourselves.
Yes.
What a
yeah. And instead of looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, oh, I'm still looking a bit fat, or I'm still like, you can't look at yourself with that love. Look at yourself with that love and thank your body for what it's been, what it's given you. You know, like, I mean, you might be a mother, you might not be, but like, you know, it gives you children, gets you through your day, it enables you to lift weights, it enables you to do so many things. You know, just look at yourself in the mirror and say thank you. Like, that is an amazing thing to do. I've changed that in myself recently. And instead of kind of commenting on it like a terrible friend, you know, like, you can't do this, you can't do that, look at it and just kind of go, you know what, actually, my speed's got better. I'm lifting more weights. I'm making time for myself, you know, like, point out the positive, not the obvious. So this moves on. Does anybody have any questions, by the way? I haven't actually been looking at the screen to see if anyone has any questions. But please, no questions yet, it says. But if you do you know, we're going to give you 2 minutes to send through some questions if you have, because I'm more than happy to share my advice. Do you guys have any questions in the meantime? No, you asked quite a few.
Yes, that's very interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
Very cool.
Yeah. I think lots of women also worry that they're going to bulk out. And I could just say, unless you're training as a bodybuilder with that frequency, that intensity, and lifting really heavy, it's just not going to happen. I'm really sorry. you're not, but you will tone up and you will feel the difference in your energy. Right, I can't see any questions coming through. So